Hello guys, I'm teacher Avelino. Today, simple present tense, full verbs in 10 minutes. Before conjugating any action verb, it would be useful to pay attention to three main things. First, identify the person and number of the subject. You need to know who is talking. In this case, because I am the one talking, I am the first person. The second person is the person to whom I am talking. In this case, you. So that makes you the second person. What or who we are talking about would be the third person, and that could be he, she, or it. Well, this it will be better. That was for the singular. If it were plural, the first person would be you and me, we. The second person would be you and someone else, you. And the third person would not include you or me, they. We would end up with six person because he, she, and it form the third person, and two numbers, singular and plural. Second, you have to be able to identify the appropriate pronoun. When we mention something for the first time, we use noun instead of pronouns. So you should be able to visualize the pronouns behind it. For example, what do you say is the pronoun for the car? It, right? In the computers, they, Melanie, she, Will's children, they, my favorite song, it, and my cousin, he or she. Allow me to elaborate. Imagine the following scenario. You have to decide which is the appropriate conjugation. My friend likes or like pizza. People loves or love your music. If you chose likes and love, you were right. The pronoun for my friend is he or she, which is the third person, and the pronoun for people is they. So depending on this, you have to conjugate the verb with s or without s, which is something that you are going to learn in this lesson. Third thing is avoid mixing the verb to be with any other verb in the simple present. They have a different structure. They behave differently. Let's take a look at the following sentences. I am half the car. Are they eat now? He isn't do the homework. Do you is fine? Every one of these examples is perfectly wrong. As you can see, we are mixing the verb to be, am, are, and is with the verb have, eat, and do, which is not correct in the simple present. This is a common beginner's error, so you should avoid it. Create a mental division between them and avoid committing this sin. English is an SVO language, meaning that you first mention the subject, then the verb, and finally the object. This is going to help you when creating positive statements, negative statements, and questions. Let's take a look at the positive statements. First, we need the subject, then the verb. And here we have to eliminate the to from the infinitive and add the same word to all the pronouns. The only thing we need to pay attention to is adding the s to the third person singular. On the other hand, for verbs ending in the letters below, you have to add es instead of s. You have to pay special attention to consonant plus y because if you have vowel plus y, you only need to add an s. So the third person of the verb to kiss will be kisses, he, she, it kisses, crash, crashes, teach, teaches, fix, fixes, quiz, quizzes, do, does, study, studies. Notice that Y becomes I before adding ES. Also notice that the verb to have doesn't follow any of these rules, and its third person is has. Going back to our previous example, we will be missing only the object. That could be,
warning, the following video contains graphic that may be disturbing if you are hungry.
arepa, gallo pinto, feijoada, curanto, tacos, sancocho, ceviche, bandeja paisa, asado criollo, mangú, pizza. Our formula for positive statement will be subject, verb, object, whether we have pronouns or noun as subjects. Unlike the verb to be, that we move the verb back and forth from positive statement to questions and vice versa. For full verbs, we add the auxiliary do or does. As an auxiliary, the verb to do doesn't have an action meaning. It just indicates that these statements are now questions. So if we drop it, we have positive statements. If we add it, we have questions. Notice that when we go from positive statements to questions, we add a question mark and we eliminate the S from the third person because it is already in the auxiliary. We make negative statements by putting the auxiliary after the subject and adding the word not. It is also possible to join the auxiliary with the negation. Do plus not will be don't, and does plus not will be doesn't. This is called contraction. So our final formula will be subject, the verb in negative, and the object. So let's see how to respond to closed questions or yes or no questions. If our answer is positive, we say yes plus the subject plus the corresponding auxiliary do or does. And if our answer is negative, we say no plus the subject plus the corresponding auxiliary don't or doesn't. Summarizing, our formulas will be positive statements, subject, verb, object. You study English every day. Questions, auxiliary, subject, verb, object. Do you study English every day? And negative statements, subject, auxiliary, not, verb, object. You do not study English every day. We can also join do plus not, and it will be you don't study English every day. Remember not to become a scientific missing your own formulas. You can use the simple present of the full verbs to express fact or general truth. The earth revolves around the sun. Water freezes at 0 degrees. You can use it to express the idea that an action is repeated or usual. He drinks a lot of water every day. It usually rains in London. You can use it to talk about scheduled events in the near future. The class starts at 7 o'clock. The buses leave at noon. You can use it to talk about permanent situations. You live in a great city. Do you work for a nice company? You can use it to talk about opinions and states of mind. I think you are a wonderful student. We don't agree with you. And you can use it to talk about feelings. My teacher loves listening to music. Carlos hates the new TV show. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. You may also take a look at this video's description for downloading material, links, and more lessons.